Two pieces of Commonwealth legislation refer to vaccines. The first one is the National Immunisation Program Designated Vaccine Determination 2014, and the second is the Australian Immunisation Register Act 2015. The National Immunisation Program is fully funded by the government. It costs about, if you go to the annual report, it costs about $400 million annually, and you can find the contracts at tenders.gov.au. Now, to make it onto the NIP, the National Immunisation Program, the vaccines have to be clinically safe and effective. They have to have full TGA registration, and then and only then are they listed in the determination. So the COVID-19 vaccines, of course, are not listed, so they're not in that one part of the only legislation that applies to vaccines. Because they're not tested for long-term safety, they're under the Black Triangle program, and they're only provisionally approved, not fully approved as required. Now, the second piece of legislation is the Australian Immunisation Register Act 2015. That refers to the Australian Immunisation Handbook, and of course none of the COVID vaccines are listed in this handbook under that legislation. Now, the online handbook has a facility where you can filter by disease, click on the disease, and you can get a list of the vaccines. Now, of course, the vaccines aren't there, therefore COVID-19 does not appear in the filter by disease. Alright, settle in for some government deception, because there's actually a separate way to get to the list of diseases through the quick links. And using the Wayback Machine, that you see where I'm going with this, up until the 13th of November, it wasn't listed. That's like about 10 months into the program. So it's established COVID-19 is not a vaccine preventable diseases, and the vaccines don't appear in the handbook. But a check on the Wayback Machine on the 8th of December shows that in the intervening period, COVID-19 disease miraculously mysteriously appeared in the quick links list, but still not in the filter by disease list. Now, this wasn't a one-off error where they included it in the quick links, oh, we made a mistake, because they actually edit it and take off the disease. So there's been two entries or people editing it into the quick links, but not in the list by disease because there are no vaccines. Updates to the handbook are meticulously noted, and the inclusion of COVID-19 also does not appear in the updates from November through to March. Now, they get away with it because the legislation refers only to the version published by the government printer, the printed version, not the online version. Now, one of the reasons it doesn't appear in any legislation is perhaps because it meets identically the definition of vaccine failure. Well, that's it for this one. Short and sweet.